What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. I'm your host, Brett. I have Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C.
In the house.
Big birthday today.
Oh.
Fuck yeah.
I thought you were saying Big Bertha.
That's a great golf club. Got Matt here. And Tanner the Head, as always. The crew's back together. Got the band back together. Our show sponsors, Elite Nutrition Omaha. Check them out at elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
Nailed it.
I was actually thinking maybe I should see if Steve's listening and say like get a free reach around or something, but see
I thought those were already like a thing there. And also Rosewood Block makes the best cutting boards in the barbecue game. Check them out, rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Whew, okay, we got through that. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Need some oxygen over there?
One straight sentence.
Yeah, we were hammering that out.
Yeah.
Pretty solid, yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Good work, Brett.
It's teamwork to make the dream work.
Yeah.
So we had some Q&As. The first one was, I was talking with a client about, she's doing powerlifting now. This is going to be her second meet. And she was asking about like determining like weight classes, like what you should go into, you know, cutting weight, and how you know when to go to the next one, like when you've kind of reached your maximal strength for that weight class. And I told her, I was like, this isn't like the answer you want to hear, but like it's weird. In my opinion, you just kind of know. Like I think you know when you're doing it long enough consistently and you're eating, you know, the same, whatever you're doing, I think you just kind of know. You'll just naturally kind of go up to the next weight class. I mean, you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I would say for me, it's just I always like to compete at whatever weight I'm pretty close to. I don't like to cut.
Yeah.
I want to be at like feeling as good as possible, especially with some of these events that have like 2-hour weigh-ins. I don't think it's worth cutting at all.
No, especially for women.
Yeah.
Like men, like guys can easily cut like 8 to 10 pounds, just like basically water and maybe
Well, depending on their size. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think, I mean, girls cutting more than like 3 to 5 pounds, I think affects them a lot more detrimentally.
Well, and especially with women, you have to make sure if you're going to have a weight class, you also have to know when you're cycling.
Yeah, that's also can be a thing.
that can throw a wrench into some things.
But I think overall, I think you can kind of feel it out of when you're going to switch weight classes. I mean,
did you guys cut? I'd never cut. Like I came in here for the
Never
couple.
cut for anything. So I've never competed.
You just cut for life.
You did the
that's
one
it.
life cut.
The one life cut, and that was it.
Like when I just like to show up and weigh. Like I skipped lunch for a weigh-in at nationals. And that was pretty tough.
Skipping lunch was tough, or the weigh-in was tough?
Skipping lunch. Like
good.
Like
Yeah.
I would
How much
cut, but
did
it's
you-
not.
Yeah.
But it was like going from 330-ish, 340 down to 308. So like you wake up, but it was like at that point it would be like a 8-pound swing overnight, 5 to 8 pounds of just water overnight. So like there's part of it, and then you just cut back on a little bit of food, and then so like a Thursday night, you just stop drinking. Thursday afternoon, have like a light meal, and it was pretty easy to get down.
I just don't think any cut should be too extensive. I think
Right.
just kind of
if you're not chasing like a world record,
right.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not gonna go for some record, then like if it's a couple pounds and you could go down a weight class, sure. But if you're gonna be like, stressed about it and it's gonna fuck up your training because you're like, oh my god, I have to cut 4 or 5 pounds, that's not worth
I think
it.
for most of us, since you're doing powerlifting for you,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the one thing that when you show up, you know if you have a chance of winning or not, right? There are plenty of people who show up to a powerlifting meet or a strongman meet or things that don't really have a chance to win. So you're doing it for you anyways. So you might as well feel as good
Right.
as possible.
and you know, and like in powerlifting, winning your weight class, like no one really cares necessarily. I mean,
Yeah,
you're going
'cause there's
for
only 2 of you anyway.
You're going for best lifter, and best
Yeah.
lifter is all off some kind of coefficient, whether it's Wilks or dots or good lifter points or whatever they do now.
Good lifter points.
I think that's
Is
what
that a real thing?
I believe so.
Like,
I think
do
that's
they get
what
stickers?
is that what the
You get gold stars and smiley faces.
is that the
Good
new
job
IP?
on the lights. Good job. Here's your good point sticker.
I think that's what the new powerlifting in America. I think they use that is good lifter points. I think.
It
not
just,
heard of that.
It just,
It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It
So
just
does dots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they're something like you don't know what the acronym stands for or whatever. So it's like it could be cool. You just don't know yet. But like good lifter
lifter
points.
points.
I feel like dots just stands for like a dumb overthought system.
Like you could say like GL.
I mean, that might be legit.
You don't know what it stands for? You don't really know what it stands for?
I don't have the slightest clue what dot stands for.
Yeah.
I used to like dots, like the candy. Those are always
don't
pretty
you still
solid.
like 'em?
I probably do. I just haven't
Yeah.
had them for a
They're
long
great. They're great car snacks.
Yeah, like combos on a road trip.
I used to love some dots. Go to the movie theater, get some dots.
Milk duds, but you feel like your teeth are going to rip out, though.
So just so we don't go like completely sideways, but I want to say this: the best candy out is Nerds clusters. Those things are so.
The Nerds ropes are good, too, but they're the same thing as the clusters, kind of, I
No,
think, aren't
no.
I like
Yeah.
the sweet tart ropes.
The
Those are good too.
clusters are just like the right amount of nerd and cluster together.
they? And then add Tanner being a nerd eating them. Really
Do they
brings it
look like
together.
gobstoppers? Like from Willy Wonka? That's what I
Yeah.
picture when you
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Really?
Just like we got all the kids bags for their stocking, and they were gone. And I bought a bag for me, and freaking daughter ate it. It's like I was like, where
Rounded.
oh, I thought it was mine. Well, where's yours? Oh, I ate that one too.
So you thought you got two and everyone else got one, huh?
Kids.
Corporal punishment. Bring it back.
Right? More whoopings.
I don't know, but
I
have you
think
ever...
going up-
Watermelon Laffy Taffy used to be good, though, too. Do you remember that had the seeds in it?
I love Laffy Taffy.
I like Laffy Taffy too.
Did you guys have Mambas?
Yeah, Mambas were solid.
Mambas are solid.
I was fat and I don't know what that is.
We were
They were like a white, long pack. They were like a Starburst wrapped kind of deal.
but they're softer.
Yeah, but it was in like a long white pack, and it had like tropical, like...
Well, it had
plants on
4
it or
flavors
something,
in it.
kinda.
So like we were poor.
Like,
so
so
my
it must
mom,
be like the dollar store version of Starburst.
yeah, but they taste better. I think they're
Yeah,
kind
they're-
of softer and not But my mom would just buy a pack because it came in like 4. Like you got like a raspberry, a strawberry, like 4 different things in there, so she could give them to all 4 of us kids for like one candy thing. So we all thought it was cool.
Yeah. You were going to say something, though, Matt, and we were talking more about candy.
Oh, going up in weight class. That I think
That was
is
a
like-
hard transition.
right?
Candy.
Yeah, candy.
Go up weight.
And I was like, you want to talk about candy? Like, we'll go on candy all day long. Like, love candy. Like going up in weight class is, like, I think that's something easy to like mess around with. Like, you can just start eating more, and if you get stronger and you're not getting like disgusting, cool.
Yeah.
That's
If
probably a
gaining
good
40
idea.
pounds of body weight and like a pound of strength isn't really that great.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
and-
where like the super heavies use that as a clutch. Like, oh, I'm a super heavyweight. It's fine. No, you're just real fat.
and the other thing is, if you're cut a lot of weight, it affects your leverages like tremendously.
It does.
Big time.
Like where you're pulling from, where you're
Yeah.
squat, like everything just feels different.
So I just say kind of like when she'd asked me that, and that's why I said it's not like a great answer, and that's not what you want to hear, but it's like you'll just know.
Well, I think if you're in between 2 weight classes, and so that's what usually happens, right? You're in between. Like very few people are just on their number. So if you're
Right.
in between 2 weight classes and you're restricting yourself to stay in that middle range, then you have 2 choices: either try and go down, or I would say just don't restrict yourself and try and go up and see if you can.
Yeah, max out that weight class.
Or since most of them use a coefficient anyways, it doesn't really matter. If you're in between weight classes, you can just sign up for the higher one because you're going off your weight anyways.
Yeah.
That's what we use at the cone meet, which signups are live if anyone wants to sign up for the best meet of the round. But that's what we do for the prize money. It's all based off Wilkes.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, you're obviously you have to claim a weight class, but we do 0 prizes for weight classes because everybody's there. You're just to compete as a group.
Yeah.
And it's you. I mean, it's like you said, you're just competing for yourself for the most part anyway.
Yeah, like if you're going to come in and you have a chance to be lifter of the meet or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Like so most people are just like, "Hey, I want to add 30 pounds to my total." Or I want to hit the squat number, and you're doing it for you. So I just don't see the point in cutting for the most part. Unless you have a chance to
Right, unless you're gonna, like you said,
set a world record
gonna set a
or
world
win.
record.
I
Win,
mean, for the
win
Ed
a
Cohen
meet.
Classic, since the prize money's pretty legit and you have a chance, and that 5 pounds can help your coefficient, then
Right.
Yeah.
maybe take it. But if you're not one of the 5 people who can win, then just feel as good as possible and go freaking put some numbers up.
Yeah, show up, hit PRs is way better.
I see people out here like at the meet, they're like spitting in jars and stuff to try and lose weight. I'm like, that's a lot of work.
And on the other end of that, like cutting, I also, and I'm sure
Why
that
are they spitting in a jar? Why don't they just spit on the ground or in the toilet?
why would I want
trash
to spit
can.
on the ground here?
outside, not inside.
Well,
But it seems odd to walk around and spit in a jar.
they'll have like
That's
a
an old wrestler thing.
Yeah, they'll have like a pop bottle.
And they just drink it later.
Maybe
Why do you keep it?
they just throw it away.
It's weird.
It's like a spitter, man. People chew and spit all the time. It's not that.
I would kind of get.
Was that the old wrestler thing? You do like Skittles. You'd like chew Skittles, but you wouldn't actually swallow them and bring all the like saliva into your mouth and they'd spit
Oh,
them out.
yeah. God, Skittles are good too.
Yeah, Skittles are good. Except the green ones. They're not that great. Anyway, so about meat day nutrition.
Yeah.
And I know this is my thoughts on it, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who want to argue, and I just don't really give a fuck. But I think that people put way too much thought into meat day nutrition. This is not like I was talking to somebody this morning too. This is powerlifting and strongman are not like a glycogen depleting fucking event happening. And the reason I say this is most of the people I know can't eat leading up to a meet because they're so nervous.
Yep.
You know, like I would just eat like eggs because you could basically like swallow them whole and not chew because, you know, it's that nervousness where like the more you chew, you think you're going to throw up like every time you chew. But I could never eat until like after squats. Then I could have like a little bit of a snack, and then after bench I could eat fine because, you know, your day's kind of going. But I think your adrenaline and your training is what will get you through the first part of the meet. So like people are like, you know, like I know we used to have a guy that tried to, like, he would like shovel like pounds of rice in between. Like everybody looked miserable, like trying to bloat with this rice. And I'm like, dude,
I don't even get the point of that. It's not very quick acting. I guess if you're just eating rice, it would be.
Well, you have to remember the old powerlifting meets would last like fucking 12 hours.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how long you're going to be there. I tend to just be pretty sugary during competition.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people think like you got to eat this and this on like competition day. And I just think that most people don't. Now, a marathon, that's different. You got to be like a little bit strategic when you're doing like long duration stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some strategery to that.
Yeah.
I get that. But I just, in my opinion, I think like powerlifting, strongman, track, you know what I mean? Like those short, quick, unless you're running the mile or whatever, but still. I think like the nutrition is kind of overrated.
I would tend to agree. I do have a question for you though. And this is probably something for people who haven't done meets before, or this would be a common question. I get it. Pre-workout. If you're normally working out with the pre-workout, do you pre-workout on meet day? Here's what I do personally, is that I will take a pre-workout 30 minutes-ish before I'm going to hit my first event. Right. And then I really don't unless there's another event. I do strongman, so those events can last a while. And there may be something later on in the day, but I sometimes I'll do two. But then I'm trying to put a little bit of like sugar and stuff in me to have something in my stomach, so I'm not just like just gutting freaking pre-workout.
Yeah, I think timing it just how you're going to do it. And you know, but it's like you said, it's not going to let you might have to do. You're going to be more active that day than you normally would in a training, right? Because you have more events. So even if you drank half your pre-workout before and then you waited till like maybe, like in a powerlifting, waited till like bench and you start drinking the other half, or you know what I mean? Like maybe divide it up because it's a longer day.
Yeah. So I like, this is a shameless plug. I like our Red Wave pre-workout and some of the other pre-workouts that do the blended caffeine, because then you don't get it all at once. When you're on it, when you're just taking like most of your like big box pre-workouts, or what I would say like not as complete pre-workouts, it's just anhydrous, so it's all coming in and all leaving you at the same time. So a lot of times you'll see people who like, or I've felt like after your workout like you need a monster to wake back up as you've just fallen off a cliff. That's not where you want to be on meet day,
right? Especially on meet day, because you're already going to have those hormone dumps or like this kind of adrenaline spike as you go up to your lifts and your event, and then you're going to have like a hormone dump as you come out of that, and you're going to, on top of that, you're going to have the crash from all that caffeine that you just smashed in for that event. And it's just going to make it harder to get ready for your next events.
I would say sugar during the day, like good carbs, either like a highly acidic dextrin, if you want to buy something, or like a banana something. I would just say stay away from a lot of fat, because fat in your stomach is just really hard to lift with. I know we're not super glycogen, but like let's just say you're a 600-pound squatter, right? Like you have quite a bit of warm up that you're doing first, and then you're going to hit 3 potential PR-ish lifts, 90, 95%, 100%, 105%, something, you know, like in that range. So I mean, you're exerting quite a bit of effort, and then you go on to bench, and then you go on to deadlift.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's most people just can't. The nerves of most people, they can't eat anyway.
Gummy bears.
And so, and I tell people,
Candy.
I said,
Candy.
We didn't talk
yeah,
about
back to the candy again.
Banana.
But I tell people, this is how your meet's going to go. Especially if you've never done one. You're going to go for your first squat. You're going to be super nervous. You're going to fucking dive bomb it. Your butthole's going to touch the floor. You'll either get it or you won't because you're nervous. Your second one, now your first one's out of the way, your second one will be way better. You'll get through squats. Bench, you won't be nervous. By the time you get to deadlift, you'll be wondering why the meet's not over yet. And that's exactly, and like you're probably not going to eat before. And I said, and then most people will, once they get to bench, might have like your banana or whatever. And then once it's before deadlift, they don't give a fuck. People are like drinking, they're eating sandwiches.
Drinking beers, eating burgers.
Eating sandwiches. Because I mean, deadlift, like it's a technical lift, but like it's not like a life and death
You can
technical
brute
lift. Like
force it a little more.
Yeah, you can just lift like a goon sometimes and don't get it. But yeah, weight classes, you'll just kind of know. Don't just get like super fat and then be like, I'm not stronger.
Yeah.
You'll kind of know. Don't make massive cuts, especially if you're a new lifter. I wouldn't cut anything at all.
No, I would. If you're a new lifter, this is your first or second meet, and you haven't done a bunch, I would just show up at whatever weight you're at.
Yeah.
Just get whatever.
Be honest about your weight class because, okay, so for the EdCo, we don't do individual weight class medals. But a lot of these guys order medals based on entries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, so try to be like, don't fuck. That's why meet directors get upset sometimes because they've ordered trophies or medals and then like they don't have enough for one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because people miss weight or
they miss weight, so that's why they get frustrated because they've already got trophies like,
Yeah.
hey, we have 3 lifters in this weight class and this, and you know now I have 3 second place trophies because everybody missed weight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that makes sense.
try to, if you're gonna sign up for it, try to be there. Like, don't make like some unrealistic fucking number.
But if you're 230 and there's a 220 and a 242, is that the weight classes?
Yep.
Am I making stuff? Okay, then just sign up for the 242 class.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna cut that weight anyway.
Yeah, you're not like. There's no point trying to cut 10 pounds. Just come in, feel good.
Right.
I mean, if you're like a fluffier guy, you might be able to drop 8 to 10 pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, hell, if you're in your 10th meet and you're 230 or you're a seasoned lifter, yeah, 10 pounds really isn't that hard. But if you're newer, I don't see a point in even trying to cut.
No, just work on your technique and
Yeah.
getting better.
Show up where you're at, and then if you're gonna cut, I always like to like I had to cut for nationals. To where I just slowly got my weight down over the course of 10 weeks. So I needed to cut about 10 pounds. I was going to lose about a pound a week for 10. And then I had to skip lunch. That was my hardest thing.
Yeah,
I did eat Whataburger afterwards, so after weigh-ins.
good refuel. Yeah, not everybody is like a Drew Dober who can cut like 30 pounds of weight and then be back up.
He's a fucking machine. When you have a law in the state of California basically named after you, you're a machine.
Yeah. But yeah, and like ultimately, powerlifting's a hobby. Strongman is a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, some
Right.
guys are making money on it. That's a little bit different. But the guys that are making money on it are heavyweights. Like those guys, it doesn't really matter. They're not cutting weight anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a hobby. Don't like turn into like some unhealthy like just piece of shit because you're like, I'm just gonna get fatter so I can lift more weights. That's not really how it is.
So I used to amateur fight fucking 15 years ago, like right when Nebraska sanctioned it. And I cut 40 pounds for a fight once. Fucking terrible. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, I went from 225 to 184.9. And then we had the same night of night of weigh-ins. They wouldn't do day before weigh-ins then. It's fucking terrible. Made it around pretty solid. Second round, not so solid. So like from then on, I would just show up and I would just be like, I'm fighting in this class. I would like show up in like sweatpants, not even take anything off. Just, yep, I'm good. No, I'm not fucking cutting ever again. I'm done. I will fight at whatever weight I'm at.
And actually, you know, while we're on that too, like the refeed, if you do cut some weight, you know, the Pedialyte's no joke. Work some Pedialyte afterwards just to get some electrolytes to start in. But then don't go eat till you throw up. Maybe divide it into a couple different meals of eating. If you've been cutting weight for
you got
a
to be
few
careful.
days.
You got to be careful, and you don't want to bloat, and you don't want to feel bad. So the food you're eating coming off is super important. So you're fueling your body properly. Like I see some people who like after weigh-ins, and when this day before weigh-ins, they go eat like a freaking asshole. It's like you're just gonna feel like shit tomorrow.
We did this meet in Kansas one time, and Amber and I and Justin got down there early to weigh in, and we would literally just go from one restaurant to the next. and just keep eating.
Justin had like a really good system that like Drew learned, and then we did in South Dakota, like the last time. But his whole thing was, so like you do your weigh-ins, and I remember I weighed in at I think I hit 305.5. By the next when I went to bed that night, I was 328. And it was all, but like the way that he structures the food, which like you never feel, like actually I just felt hungry all day long. And it was like, so you get done with weigh-in and you'd have like.
Sushi, wasn't it?
No, that was meal 3. So
Sushi?
Like, yeah.
I love sushi.
So first meal was like a couple eggs and some toast. Like something that's like super easy to eat, really fast to digest.
Yeah.
And then the next meal might be a little bit of chicken and rice. Again, it's pretty easy to digest, pretty easy. And then you'd go on to like sushi and you'd eat, I don't know, like a good
boat?
amount. Not a ton.
A boat?
It's a lot.
A
boat would be too much.
I have ate a boat by myself on more than one occasion.
Yeah, but it's a lot though.
It was a lot. But yeah, then you do sushi, and like what we did is we like got sushi, ate it, but also bought enough for another meal, and then so another couple hours later, we did that, and so that's probably 1 or 2 o'clock, and then 3 or 4. There was this little diner. We went down there and got like a chicken and a baked potato, and then like steak and some baked potato or something for dinner, and then we just picked up a pizza and ate as much of it as we could and went to bed, and that was it. But like all day long, you're just
Eating.
hungry. Yeah, you're eating,
But you're just not eating a ton.
yeah, you're not eating a ton, and it's all quick acting. We would go for a walk after each meal to kind of help move
Get the
digestion
move,
along.
yeah.
But yeah, but so like, and going into the next day was probably like the best. Like I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel gross. I was still a little bit hungry the next day, and so that was.
See, and I liked his system. I just didn't like the meat day system where he's like, Drew would just look miserable, like cramming rice down. That part I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I think I would always be like I think your competition days, like eat enough so you don't feel bad. But
You just gotta
eat when you can. I think on
Yeah.
those days, like eat when you feel like you can.
Yeah, it has to be all feel.
It's a lot of feel, and that's that's like strength sports in general. Everything is off feel. Your training is off feel. You need to know how to auto regulate yourself. When to step it up, when to dial it back, when to eat. You know what I mean? Like your body will tell you when it's hungry. And like, don't just like, I'm gonna go eat the left half of the menu at McDonald's because I want to go up to super heavy. Okay, well that doesn't mean you're gonna be strong.
I did put on my first masters competition. It was like open. There was always single weight class, so it's just like you show up.
Sponsored by Depends.
Yeah,
sure.
And I decided I was going to be bigger for that. I got it to like 265, 270. God,
How'd you feel?
I was strong.
Fine.
I won 4 of the 5 individual events. I did finish last in one of them. That was fun. But I won 4 of the other 5. Won the meet, but I was like tying my shoes was hard. The life was hard. But I was eating like 2 cheesesteaks for lunch.
Yeah.
Some pepper jacks.
But I think that kind of answers it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's kind of vague, but it is, and you'll know. As weird as that sounds, you'll know.
I mean, I think the moral of the story is don't cut if you're new. If you're
cut.
newer, and if you're seasoned and you want to cut, just like be smart about it.
Don't cut, and don't feel weird if on meat day you feel like you can't eat in the morning. You're not the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
Plenty of people are probably not eating.
Right.
I mean, I've eaten with Ed like multiple times, and he's like, he won't even finish his food, and he said he's never been a big eater.
Yep.
And I think your training and your, like Matt said, that adrenaline will carry you, especially through the squats.
Yep.
That's why you're going to be all clammy when you go up there the first time because you're nervous, and then after like your second one, you'll be sweaty because you're doing that like adrenaline dump. You're so nervous, it'll just be sweaty. Then after that, you're kind of chill out more. And then, like I said, by deadlift, you're going to be like, fuck, is this meat over yet or what? Let's move this shit along. We got to start drinking.
It is funny, like when you see right before deadlift, everyone's sitting around, they're on benches, no one's warming up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crowd has dwindled a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I give powerlifting, people who come and watch the meets who stay all day, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like watching paint dry. If you only know like one person competing,
Right.
man, it's a day.
Your event here does move though.
Yeah, we keep it moving.
It's
Music's
constantly
good here.
moving.
Music's good here. The announcers are good.
We keep it entertaining,
Yeah.
so people will want to stay.
Yeah.
And we should keep the
all
crowd
of us will be here. You can come meet us.
Right.
Yeah.
Autographs,
Well,
everything.
Yeah. We'll do a little signing
We'll
signing
do
session before.
photos, whatever,
Signing
whatever.
table with some trading cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have the whole crew here, all over the place. It's gonna be great. So yeah, I think that's a good answer to that. We had one about conceal carry, which we've talked about before. Like, and it was kind of a vague question, but I think they just want some more information because they want to get into one.
So the benefit to a concealed carry in Nebraska, we're a constitutional carry state. I think there are 26 constitutional carry states. Benefit, though, to a concealed carry in Nebraska is, one, I think it's good because you do get to take a class and some people need them.
Yes.
Also, it's your purchase permit for the next 5 years. So
I think people forget that you have to have a purchase permit
I think
too.
that's the biggest benefit.
it is the biggest benefit.
Yeah.
Everything's already done.
Do you have to have a purchase permit for a rifle still with this new thing or no?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I know long guns are different, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so. It's been a long time, but I bought a couple shotguns and a rifle before. And
Doesn't it just say handgun?
It was
purchase
just handgun
permit?
purchase. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
I
long
think
as
it
it
just says that
Yeah,
on
as long as it's
I don't think you
rifle or
need a
shotgun
purchase
over
permit
the
for a rifle,
minimum.
but
I don't.
don't quote me.
No,
Yeah.
there's no way you did because I didn't have to give anything when I built my last AR. Like, I just bought the stuff and had to go pick up a piece from whatever used to be Frontier Justice. I just had to show them my ID.
Because I feel like they always still asked when I did a transfer. They still always asked for my concealed carry and my ID, or maybe I just pulled it out because I was used to like getting both out at the same time.
Yeah.
So the only thing that you would have had to do is the lower for the rifle if you didn't have it built. So, and it's technically not a handgun. So you shouldn't have to have one. So yeah,
But you do have your purchase permit, so if you want to go buy a gun,
Yeah.
you can just walk in,
hand it
your,
to them and you're
and
done.
buy your gun, and you can leave with it.
Yeah, it's worth having. I mean, you go, you like Tanner, it's like you take the test, which is probably good. You get to go qualify, which you get to shoot. It's what is it from? Is it 3 yards, 5 yards,
It's like a
It's been so
yard.
long since I've done it.
357 or something.
3,
I
5?
think you start really close.
Like
Yeah.
this one guy in our class had like a 350, and the barrel was like on the fucking
Yeah.
target when he was doing it. It was leaving like just muzzle burns on it.
Yeah, because someone almost failed in ours because you start so close that if you shoot too fast, the gas will move the paper. And you'll miss.
One time on mine, I shot too quick, and like all my whole pattern was really good. It was very tight, and there's like one stray. I'm like, fucking paper moved. It's not my fault.
Yeah, and that's like the funnest part. Like when I took the class, the guy like we took the written part in the classroom, and he gave everybody their certificates. And I was just like joking. I was like, they don't have to qualify. He's like, nobody skips qualifying. This is the best part of the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
You got to go out here and shoot. Like
you
that's,
actually
nobody's
get
going
to
to skip
shoot.
that part. So I think that's good. And like to answer your purchase permit, but then you also get like the reciprocity with some states
Yeah.
that don't
Yeah.
have.
So you can go, like USCCA has an app, but you can go through and figure out pretty much, if you're not going to some like liberal cesspool, your purchase permit is reciprocal.
Yeah, there's still transportation differences. Like when you go through different states, even if you have your concealed carry and stuff, and there's reciprocity, there's still. And I don't remember. The USCCA has like all those things out there, but there are some different.
So I've driven with it quite a few times, and I looked, and most of the states are it's like a ammo type, and it's like no coated ammo, okay, or like a magazine. I think Colorado has a magazine limit. There's things like that you'll want to check. But what I found was crazy is in Nebraska, you had a duty to inform. So if you were pulled over, that you had a duty to inform. Like almost no state has a duty to inform. And I don't know if Nebraska does anymore with the constitutional carry. I don't know if they do.
You do still have to inform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a duty to inform, but like Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, I don't think because we drove to Texas, I think there's no duty to inform any of those states.
Well, in Nebraska, I believe, isn't it tied to your license when they run your license?
It is.
Your
Because it's the same
concealed carry
number.
permit is, yeah.
It's tied to your license because I wasn't carrying. I got pulled over one day and I didn't have it, but didn't even think about it because I wasn't carrying. And the lady came up and she was like, "Hey, are you carrying?" And I just left Matt's
and you're
house.
just like this.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I just left Matt's house for shooting. I go, no, I'm not carrying, but I have like a bunch of guns in the back seat. And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's all right. Just but let us know if you are." But then the other thing, like we were talking about earlier, if you're concealed carrying correctly, no one should know you're carrying anyway.
Right. That's the biggest thing. Like if you are going to conceal carry, like no one should know unless they hear it.
When the time comes.
Right.
Sound of freedom.
And as far as
I do really wish I could just open hip carry because it's
You
can.
can.
I know, but then you're just gonna
You're that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're that guy, and you're gonna wind a bunch of people up. Like, can you imagine going into freaking Target and freaking
Well, they may ask you. Target will probably ask you
Yeah.
to leave.
yeah?
because and also look on the signs. Just because you can, businesses have the right to not allow you.
They do, but during my class, at the marksman. He's very well informed. That's a great class, by the way. And the marksman's out in Waterloo. If you don't have a place to go for guns, it's a great place to go. Great range. But like the sign has to be a certain size, and it has to be like prominent. So like the little teeny thing over in the corner doesn't count. It doesn't even match Nebraska state law.
It's like a state sign. It has to actually be the actual sign that's on the website.
Which is
So you can't just have like the
You
old
can't
like
just
no
put a
smoking
gun on
sign?
there and say no handguns or no
yes.
guns.
And some people do
doesn't
that,
count.
or they just have one from corporate, from their corporate whatever. It's just so, like it has to. It's a prominent size.
I personally think those signs are stupid anyway.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because if the business, they're all private owned business anyway. If they don't want you in there for whatever reason, they can decide to tell you to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for anything. So I don't understand why they need to have those signs up there.
We have a sign that
It's just for
welcomes
those-
guns.
Yeah, well, it's just for people that
Yeah.
don't like guns to make them feel better. Oh, this place tells people they can have guns in here. Okay, well, you shouldn't be hanging out there anyway.
Yeah, we have a sign that welcomes them, but keep them holstered until the time arises.
Yeah.
I think that's another big thing about concealed carry. Make sure you buy a good holster and a way to carry it properly. So
And just a
if
gun
it's
that's
not- if it's
comfortable.
not comfortable, if it's not comfortable, you're not going to carry it.
Right.
Don't get some gigantic 1911 and be like, man, this thing's awesome. Yeah, it is a pretty cool gun, but it's not going to fit in your pants comfortably.
Yeah, and then you're not going to open carry more than likely.
Yeah.
Get something go out to one of the whatever gun store you're by wherever you live, and hold a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. See what's comfortable in your hand.
Here's the problem with I have a ton of holsters that I thought were going to be great, but they're not. So that's another thing that's going to happen. You're going to spend a lot of money on buying holsters, and you're like, man, this one looks awesome. That dude on YouTube uses it. Then you get it, and you're like, doesn't fit me. That's
That
okay.
just happens, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged by that.
Well, and that's hard because a lot of ranges won't let you draw,
That's true.
so it's hard to know.
But like Lane talked about, dry fire at your house. You can dry fire all day long in your house.
Right, but if you already have the gun, or you don't have the gun yet, but you're going to see
sure.
which ones you like, I wonder if you went there and you talked to him and you're like, hey, I'm looking for a concealed carry. Can I try these out? Like, have the range officer next to you, have him verify that it's empty, and I bet they would let you, like, as long as you're still up in the box, like, they would let you slow draw just to check it out and like see, hey, does this fit? Now, you need a holster for it and stuff, and that's probably the tough part.
If you do go to a range, go to a good one, because there's nothing scarier than having some dipshit next to you. Like there is.
Right.
There's just nothing more nervous. Like it's really hard to focus when you have a fucking moron next to you.
Right.
Yeah, Amber's not a big fan of the indoor ranges, just because of the people that are in there sometimes.
Yep.
You don't have to wear camo to go to the range. If anybody was wondering, I've seen
A
some
lot of
guys
people go there to, rent a gun and
buy a bullet.
buy one bullet.
Game over.
That happens that's happened probably at every range in the city.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them. It's right,
I don't know if
once or
I've
twice a
never
year
heard
thing.
of it happening at 88, but
I don't think it happened at the bullet hole like at least 2 or 3
it's happened at Frontier. Yeah.
Well, it didn't.
So-
Bullet hole. Like that was like they had like once a year when they were like
Yeah.
they were like the only range in town at that time though. And you don't have to. Actually, you don't have to rent it because I don't think you pay till you're done.
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never had
That's
to
a
rent
real
gun.
question. Say you're running the range, guy blows his brains out. Do you take his card and charge him for the gun rental?
I think so.
I mean,
And
he
then
rented
call,
it.
and then call EMS.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
I mean,
But I would not be like, if you're still looking like you were going to go to a gun range and now you're like, I don't know. Like, they're
no,
still safe.
just go to a good one.
Yeah.
There are good ones that the range officers are paying attention. So.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, anything. I mean, yeah.
Eastern Nebraska Gun Club's outdoors. It's kind of a pain to drive all the way there all the time, though. But
Yeah.
at least you can do whatever you want there.
Yeah.
Almost what? Okay. Almost whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's nobody there watching you, so don't shoot yourself accidentally.
Yeah. Or don't get Chris Kyled. Sad story.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Marine sniper gets shot in the back.
Oh fuck.
But then onto the gun, like find something you're comfortable with. Like I said, go out, feel some out, and then if you.
That's also probably going to take some time too, because there are also plenty of guns that I bought. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. Nope, don't like it.
Right.
Can't carry it.
Yeah, find something you're comfortable
Make
with.
sure you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Or if you have some friends that have a plethora of weapons, you can at least, hold on to, shoot. Because it might feel comfortable in your hand, and then when you shoot it, which I get it's life and death. How it shoots sometimes doesn't always matter because you're just there to save your life.
Right. But you also
Yeah.
want to practice with it.
Yes.
Right. So you're going to do dry fire, which will get you something, but you want some live fire. And if you just dread going, like coworkers wife carries this 38 because it's comfortable to hold and all this stuff, but it is miserable to shoot. It's so snappy and it just bites your hand, and so she never trains with it. She just carries it. I was like, well, I guess at least you have it, but you're still missing out on a piece.
Yeah, I think training with them, being comfortable with it, and then even like we were talking about yesterday, being comfortable. It sounds weird, but a guy I know that used to do it every once in a while. Him and his wife would do like drills, do drills in their house. Like they would with at night they would do like a kind of a walk around their house, basically like how to clear a house.
I've cleared my house lots of times.
Like you should know, and like we were talking about yesterday, you should also. I think there's something you can train your mind to believe something. Obviously, right? This is not untold information out there. I think all of us have talked to us before. Like if someone came into our house, we'd be totally fine with shooting them. But you have to know that you would be okay with shooting someone, or be confident about that you're okay with shooting someone that's in your house trying to cause harm to your family.
I think you have to run through scenarios like that all the time if you are going to carry a gun, because you need to. If you've already had it in your mind, like, okay, I went in here, and if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. You've already thought about it, right?
Yeah.
So you've already basically played it out in your
You're
head.
at least mentally preparing.
So if something happens, you're not just standing there like, oh, what am I going to do now? But you've already thought about that scenario and what you're going to do in that situation. It's probably not going to work out quite like how you thought it's going to work out in your mind, but at least you got a little bit of a plan
But at least
going
you
on.
got some
At least you got a head
mental
start
runs,
on it.
right?
Yeah.
You got some mental reps at it. Like we've done. Our house is pretty easy to defend because we're down at one side and there should only ever be 2 people in the house. So if there's anyone that's not me or Aaron, okay. Like
Do you know
don't have
that?
to worry about that.
Did you know that if a guy comes in your house and is like stabbing your dog, it's not considered a family member?
Right. Well, then I'll stab
have a
Aaron.
knife.
Dogs are just property.
Right. We're gonna shoot him. Aaron's
They
gonna
have a
stab
fucking
me in the
knife.
thigh, and we'll call it
What
good.
is it like if someone's within like 45 feet of you with a knife, you're not safe.
No, it's like 15
21 feet or something like that.
Whatever.
Unless you're lane and you can draw that fast on them.
45, 21. That's fine.
It doesn't matter. I was just saying it's a knife.
Yeah, you can close that distance after
I
you
really
shoot him.
don't
quickly.
like. There's lots of videos out there. I really don't like people saying like, "Oh, knives are. It's just a knife." Yeah, there's videos out there. I think can't remember what country it's in, but there's a guy with a knife and he
Yeah.
stabs like 4 cops in the chest and they all die before because they didn't
Yeah.
want to shoot it.
A knife. There's plenty
Yeah.
of countries where guns aren't legal that they just stab people.
Yeah,
Knives to me are way more scary.
I said I would rather get shot with a gun than a bow with a broadhead. That's like an aggressive knife. That is going to hurt terribly, and then they can just pull it out and use it again.
Or like in like 1882 where they used to put it like
Rub them and poop. Amber and I
Rub
was
'em
joking like
poop,
we're going to
yeah.
have poop arrows in our house and just shoot
arrows.
at people.
that way.
Oh, you
that
got
way,
away, but I still won.
Yeah.
that way they got infected.
I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit more medicine nowadays,
no.
but you know.
But no, I think doing
But then
like
you're gonna have to explain it to the emergency room. I got shot with a broadhead arrow with poop on it. Oh, why?
yeah. But like Chris in the scenario stuff, like no one's gonna think you're like no one that knows anything is gonna think you're like some weirdo prepper.
Yeah.
You just need to know scenarios in your house. Be okay walking around your house with a gun.
I think everyone should kind of be like heading towards weirdo prepper though.
Don't be a zombie when you go to the gas station either.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Pay
when you're
attention
at
to what's
the
going
gas
on around you.
Yes.
And like I said,
Always.
we've
Yeah.
talked enough about like us in this group have talked. If somebody came in our house, we'd have no problem. And I said that if I was at the mall and someone pulled a gun out, I don't know if I'd be near as confident in my mind of shooting someone than I am in my house. Do you know what I mean? Like
I think it depends on the
just because I've
scenario
told
at the
myself
mall.
so many times.
If I'm
You know
there
what I
with
mean?
my family and the kids are with me, the main objective is to leave with everybody being safe. If I'm there by myself or it's just me and the wife, and someone pulls out a gun and starts shooting, the main objective is to stop the threat at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the kids are there, we're retreating and getting out of there with the kids. That's
So I
basically.
think you hit on a really important part with that situational awareness, which
Yeah.
as the conceal carry, if you are conceal carry, that should be part of your, I don't know if you call it training or preparedness, but like be observant. You don't have to like look around and think about, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna hide behind this and cover, like get all these elaborate plans. But you should have a deal. Like whenever we go out to eat or we're someplace, I generally will always put my back towards a wall.
Yes.
So I can see the
See the
room.
door.
So even if Aaron's back is towards everything else, like I want to see the room. So I just, again, I can see what's going out there. Like I'm not, and you don't have to avoid conversation or enjoying the environment that you're in just to observe, but you can just glance around, see what's going on. Like you're going to notice things that look odd and you make a mental note, like, all right, something's weird over there. 99.99% of the time, that's just a weird dude. And you're like, all right, cool.
I never sit with my back towards the door, towards the entrance.
Usually you can tell, like, sometimes it's just a weird dude, but, everyone if you're at, like, a restaurant or something, everybody walks in, everybody's happy, and somebody walks in and they got, like, a weird look on their face and they don't look happy. You're like, what's this person's problem? You know what I mean? Same kind of thing if you're at a store or something, but it doesn't mean that they are up to no good, but it's not a bad idea to start recognizing those types of things, because if someone comes in and they are up to no good, they're probably not going to come in like, dude, all happy and smiling and having a good time. They're going to have that scowl on their face, so they're going to, look like they're on a mission, like they're planning on doing something. You know what I mean? It's just a different look on your face than if you're just out hanging out.
Well, I think, which one of you guys said something about don't be a zombie at a gas station?
Yeah. I mean, don't be a zombie.
Yeah. Don't be on your freaking phone either. Like, you should be paying attention.
While you're pumping your gas, you probably should be looking around. Making sure. I know it's cold out in Nebraska, and you want to sit back in your car. That is not a good idea. To start pumping your gas and sit in your car and start getting on your phone. Well, there's 4 dudes rolling up in a stolen Kia. They're like, oh, this dude's got a nice car. Look, he's on his phone. Oh, he just put new gas in it for us. Oh, this is ours now.
Mm-hmm. I heard Kias are really nice cars.
I always sit in my car and lock it.
Well, even if it's locked, someone can still sneak up on you. I always like to be out of the car and looking around.
I do too.
Gas. Yeah.
Again, I think it's you're aware of the situation, like walking down the street, walking through downtown. Like, now that I have to travel and I go to some bigger cities, I'm not like everyone I see in the bigger cities that walk around. 9 out of 10 have 2 earbuds in or headphones on covering.
Yeah, I don't understand that. You can't hear shit.
And they're looking down. Now, I will have 2 of them in, but the headphones that I have like a transparency setting
so you
on
can
them.
hear.
So you can still hear everything. Actually, probably a little better than my stupid ears can hear. So I'll have both of them in, but I'm still like hearing. Now, maybe everyone has those. I don't think so. But yeah, you just walk around and you don't have to be super creepy and just like stare everyone in the eyes and like watch them as they go by.
Because then you're the weird guy that everybody's suspicious of.
And then everyone's like, oh my God. And then everyone's staring. Yeah, but I mean, if you see something strange, like, you can slide over, or you can just kind of be aware that a non-normal something is happening in front of you, whether it's a person, an interaction, or something. But then you can like quick run through your mind of like, okay, if something happens, how do I get out of here? Right? Can I go forward to get it? Can I go this way? Is there an alley here? Can I go in there? And it's not. And I used to think like that made me like the super weirdo to like have these prepping thoughts for like, and even in like the offices I go to, I mean, we're on the 23rd floor of a building that you need to have a key card to get into. But even then it's like, okay, I'm always going to be positioned where I can see people coming in there. And I have an idea, like, if someone comes up, where's the exit? Where's the stairs? How do I get out? And all that stuff. And I think you do it enough, and now it just happens. Like, you just look around and you have these things, and it becomes, I don't know, not second nature, but it's something that you actively think about, but it doesn't take up a space in your mind. So that fortunately, I haven't had to be in a situation where I've had to like defend myself with a knife, gun, or anything. But having those mental reps gives me a little more confidence that would something happen, I at least know what I intend to do. So I have a jump start rather than just being caught by surprise.
I think they did a study on that. I remember I watched it on something. I can't remember what it was, but brand new concealed carry people, they put them all in a room, and they did like this scenario where this guy comes in. They didn't know it was going to happen, and somebody comes in with like a fake gun, and almost everybody froze. Nobody knew what to do, probably because they hadn't thought about what they were actually going to do at that time. The whole room had a gun on them. This guy comes in here with a gun, and everyone's just looking at him like, hey, that guy's got a gun. You got to have it.
That's kind of a ballsy drill to have.
Well, it wasn't like they had a loaded gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But do you feel like it was something?
Tim,
it was something
we've got
along
5
those
new
lines.
gun holders in here. We need you to take this gun in there and rob them.
Do you feel like one of them?
Sure, they're not loaded.
One of them's gonna be the sacrificial lamb, because the first guy that reaches for the gun is gonna get shot. So if you gotta like, hey Bill, grab your gun.
I can't remember how they did this scenario. It might have been they gave them fake guns and told them that there was going to be some. It was something along those lines, and they had a camera in the room, and they showed most of the people
I mean,
Didn't react at all.
I'm just thinking-
Everybody's got a loaded gun. Some guy comes in. Oh,
Got
man,
his little plastic Glock trainer.
There's this old guy in the back that's just, I've been waiting for this.
Like the old guy in the church that was the former FBI marksman.
Yeah.
It just waste that guy from across the church.
I'm sure I'm messing up the scenario they did
Yeah.
somehow. But it was along those lines.
People
most of the-
freeze.
You do that, like,
people
along that
freeze,
line.
yeah.
So I signed up to take Lane's combative handgun class on the 20th.
You're gonna get fucked up.
I'm gonna get fucked up so hard, like, because he's gonna see me and he's like, "Hey, Pillsbury, come over here," and just beat the shit out of me. But I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to that exposure of, hey, here's a scenario. Because again, we have our minds like what's gonna happen, and we all think that we're gonna be John Wick and just start mowing people down. But when violence happens, things change.
You know what makes you feel worse about the John Wick thing is that Keanu Reeves is 59. Did you know that?
Holy shit!
God, he has aged well.
I did not know that he was 59. I was like, damn.
Jeez.
But Bill and Ted came out in like 86 or 87.
What an asshole.
Right?
Yeah, he's still beating people up.
Yeah.
And he's actually a competitive shooter
He's
still,
a
right?
really
Three-gun
good
shooter.
Like seeing those videos of him training down at Taryn and some of the stuff, and even like real like shooters, military folks will go out there and train down there with him. He's like, no, he's legit.
Yeah. Yeah, like the whole conceal carry
just
thing.
the dude, someone broke in and stole all of his guns or something from his house. Maybe that was like fake news, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where he lives, but
That was John Wick.
Was it on CNN?
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably on social media that I saw that. I wouldn't be surprised though,
Yeah.
because I'm sure Taryn gave him a bunch of cool guns.
Well, he probably has a John Wick safe. There's only like, 3 or 4 of those, and that collector guy has one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's got
It's like $100,000 for just that
It's
safe
got
and the guns.
It's got a couch in it.
Are you talking about that guy that's on YouTube, the
The collector.
Yeah.
What is it? That guy he's got,
I want to know what he does.
I don't know. He's got the indoor range. He's got every gun.
He bought like a
He's a
1,000-acre ranch.
financier.
every gun you can think of. Yeah.
He bought like a 1,000-acre ranch, and then like I wanted this side by side. They only had the one in the showroom for like 40,000, so I bought that.
Yeah, because he didn't want to wait.
I didn't want to wait, and I was like, oh, okay. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just out here going to take like this fucking 7-mile shot because I got land that never ends, so it's cool. And I was like, oh.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as concealed carry stuff, like, take a class, get comfortable with guns, find a gun you like. It's going to take you a little bit. Like Chris said, find a holster you're going to like. Inside the pants holster, by the way. You probably want not in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're not like a thigh strap just walking down the street.
Are you guys appendix, hip?
I appendix
Rear
carry.
I'm
Appendix.
too fat for appendix.
I'm appendix, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
hipper.
same. I like the appendix.
I'm gonna keep my belt loose though when I carry it. I got one, those core belts that click. That's what I always use, so I can.
You do need if you're gonna do like especially appendix. I'm sure on the hip the same thing. Like pants need to be a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
and
your
don't wear
normal
like a
pant
skin tight
size.
shirt. You're gonna print.
Right. And
Yeah, and if you got any more questions about concealed carry, I will be at the Ed Cohen meet, and I would love to talk
Or-
to you about it.
Yeah, or just
Yeah.
put them out here on our
Yeah.
Instagram, YouTube. You can put questions on anywhere.
do
It
it.
seems like everyone's a little apprehensive to put questions on the, but don't be. Ask
Yeah.
some questions.
Yeah, we'll
we
answer
got
the
a
best we
couple.
can, or we'll find somebody
Yeah.
that can.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, go through. It sounds weird, but be comfortable in your house or apartment, going through a few scenarios here and there. Just an unloaded gun, just walking around. If you're gonna have a flashlight, just know what you're doing with it.
Or
Like
you
Chris said,
you can get a blue gun too if you want. If you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
and
with
like
that.
like Chris said, just at least if you have some kind of plan in your head, it doesn't go the way you thought it would. It's easier to change a plan than to not have a fucking plan at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. And I said, there's that whole, mentally teaching yourself that you are okay with that.
Mhm.
You are okay with the idea if someone comes in your house to harm you or someone around, that you are okay shooting them.
Right. Like you're not taking a life, you're defending a life.
Yes.
And I think that's a different mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I did want to follow up just a couple of pieces for concealed carry was like on gun selection, like find one that you like and that's comfortable and stuff, but don't get like a super Gucci Glock, like, or race gun, right? With like a 2-pound trigger
get a reliable gun.
and all the stuff. Right. Like get something that's good. I think a slightly heavier trigger is nice. So like when you shoot, like you have to intend to shoot. Where some of those like fancier triggers or race guns, like you look at that gun and
Breathe
it's
on
like,
the trigger.
am I going to shoot? Am I going to shoot? And it's going to go off, right? So you know that you're going to have. I like red dots. I think we've talked about red dots before. They've come a long, long way, and they are super reliable and dependable. And so if you were concerned about, if I have an optic on there, like what if something happens to it? I mean, you either A, have to be negligent of your firearm and not not do dry fire drills, not shoot it, not look at it to know like, oh shit, I haven't changed the battery in 2.5 years and I'm just now noticing. But like you have to be really intentional to break those things. So I think that's a great choice to add to your firearm.
And we're also going to do a video on installing a red dot.
Yeah.
A red dot, installing
I
it
got one
and
for Christmas.
sighting it. We'll do a little video with that. But yeah, keep the questions coming. Hopefully we give you some good answers. Or if you want to message, be like, hey, you didn't really answer like anything I asked. So
Yeah, so you guys suck. That was not...
yeah, just be
You guys
specific
didn't
and
answer the question I wanted at all.
I'll just say, ask a better question then.
yeah. But if we didn't answer, just try to get as specific as you can.
Yeah, ask a good damn question.
And we'll
It's obviously not our fault.
yeah.
God.
And
better
we'll
with
do
your
what we
questions.
can, or we'll get a hold of people that we all personally
Yeah.
know, that can answer the question, and try to help everybody out the best they can. Like I said, that's our goal for this year, is to get more good information and simplistic information out to everybody. So keep listening. Let us know what you guys want to hear, and like, share, subscribe. We're on the YouTubes, Apple, Spotify, whatever. And we appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you next time.